While many people think that the speaking section of the TOEFL is the most difficult part of the test, thousands and thousands of students struggle with the reading section. One of the reasons for this is that even if you learn the tips and strategies for each type of question and improve your academic vocabulary, you may still score low. I have tons of students who come to me and say that they have studied every single reading tip available online, or can understand pretty much everything from the text, but they still make a lot of mistakes or run out of time when they start taking practice tests. The key to solving this problem is to drill the strategies into your brain and make them as automatic and natural as possible. That is why in my TOEFL course, in addition to detailed lectures on everything you need to know about the reading section, we have a special module, Cracking the Reading Section. In this module, we take full-length reading practice tests and analyze them together, making sure we drill all these strategies into your brain. This way, you start thinking not as a newbie who's afraid of making mistakes and constantly running out of time, but as an experienced TOEFL taker who has taken hundreds of TOEFL tests and knows all the traps ahead. So, in today's video, we are going to do a complete reading module together that will give you an understanding of how to effectively approach the TOEFL reading section. I decided to take this test from the KMF platform. It's a cool Chinese platform that offers free practice tests. The link to the platform is in the description below. As you probably know, the reading section consists of 3 texts, each followed by 10 questions. Obviously, we won't have time to do all 3 parts of the section, so we'll just do one. However, for those of you who need more practice, or if your exam is coming up, click on this link to access a detailed analysis of full-length reading sections, where we go through each type of question together and discuss the strategy for each in more detail. Be sure to pause the video at each question and try to answer it yourself first. Then keep watching to check yourself. Write winner in the comments below if you got every question right. If not, let me know how many mistakes you made. Let's get started. First, I read the heading to get a general understanding of the passage. The passage is about the westward migration. Then I go straight to the first question without reading the text. It's an inference question, where we have to draw a conclusion from the text. It asks, what can be inferred from paragraph 1 about Western farmers prior to 1815? In other words, what conclusion can I draw about Western farmers before 1815? The word to focus on here is prior, which means before. You must always pay attention when you see time clues in the question, because they help you find the right part of the text. Now, pause the video and try to answer this question yourself. Ready to check? I'm quickly scanning the text, looking for this information, and here it is. After 1815, improved transportation enabled more and more Western farmers to escape a self-sufficient way of life and enter a national market economy. So, I see that after 1815, Western farmers entered a natural market economy. This means that before 1815, they didn't do that. This makes answer D correct. Options A, B, and C are incorrect. You can use keywords to double-check that in the text. Pause the video and analyze the highlighted parts of the text. Moving on to question 2. What's the purpose of the statement? This question asks us to find the reason why the author includes this sentence. We can see that it's at the end of the paragraph, which means it probably contains an example to illustrate a point or draws a conclusion. I used the first part of the paragraph to answer the first question, so now I should focus on the second part of the paragraph. I see that the rate of westward migration increased spectacularly. Everybody was moving westward. Emigration to the west reached a peak in the 1830s. And then the sentence I have serves as an illustration of how many people moved westward. So the correct answer is C. to emphasize the range and speed with which the westward migration occurred. It's not A, because there is nothing mentioned about how population shifts occur generally. We're talking about a specific situation. It's definitely not B. Finally, there is nothing mentioned about the fact that Americans found the Appalachian Mountains attractive. Question 3. This is a vocabulary question. They're either super easy or super challenging, depending on whether you know the word in the question and the answer options provided or not. Don't forget to pause the video and tackle the question yourself first. The word in question is fringes. In British English, a fringe is the same as bangs, which means hair that is cut short and straight at the top of your face. So, it's the outer edge of your hair. Fringe also means a border or outer edge of an area or group. So, the right answer is A. If you're not sure, you can try to eliminate the two options that are 100% incorrect. You can also check out the sentence and try to guess the meaning of the word from context. For example, here we read about settlers who kept pushing westward beyond the fringes of settlement. I can change fringes to the edge of settlement. So the word borders is the closest in meaning. If you have problems with vocabulary questions, feel free to go through the academic word list. It contains 570 words that often appear in academic texts. Also, study topic-specific vocabulary. We prepared special PDF files on various topics on our TOEFL course, so that you don't need to worry about how to replenish your vocabulary. Let's keep going. Well, this is one of my favorite questions. I know most students hate it because they think it's super challenging. However, if you know the right strategy, it's not as intimidating as it looks. It's called a sentence simplification question. All we need to do is simplify the highlighted sentence by breaking it into 2 or 3 main ideas. Also, pay attention to transitions. They help a lot to track the direction of ideas. So, we can see that the West has plenty of attractions. Then, we have a list of natural attractions, which means natural landscapes. We don't want to focus on details too much. Then, we learned that they were tempting, which means appealing to New England farmers who had to work with rocky and sterile land, and to southeastern farmers who had problems with land. So, simply put, both New England farmers and southeastern farmers had problems with the land, which is why they found the land of the West attractive. Now that I've formulated the simplified version of the sentence, let's look at the answer options. The correct answer is B. The fertile soils of the West drew farmers from regions with barren soils. This sentence is the closest to the short summary of the sentence I just made. If you find this question challenging, start by eliminating 2 answer options that are clearly incorrect. They're usually easy to spot. In this case, you might have eliminated A and D, because they simply don't mention farmers at all. Then choose between the remaining 2 options. You see, not as difficult as it may seem. It's all about approaching these questions mechanically and knowing what to do for each question type. Also, expand your academic vocabulary and read a lot of texts about biology, chemistry, astronomy, and so on. This will help you understand better. The next question is the factual information question. It asks us to find information that is given in the text. According to paragraph 3, what was the significance of the land law passed in 1820? So, I need to find the importance of the land law passed in 1820. For this question type, I recommend identifying the keywords in the question that will help you find the right part of the paragraph. Usually it's a sentence or 2. My keywords are land law and 1820. An important note: I already used the first sentence of this paragraph to answer the previous question, which is why most likely I won't need this sentence to answer this question. So I begin reading from the second sentence. I see that because of this law, a farm costs only $100. This is super cheap. Then I can see that the text starts talking about banks and loans, which is not what I'm interested in. If you want, you can still finish the remaining paragraph, just to be sure you're not missing any important information. However, it's not necessary here. Coming back to the answer options, I can see that B is the right answer. It provided farmland at an affordable price. $100 is very affordable. Great job! Let's keep going. Another vocabulary question. As you can see, this one is about proliferation, which again proves to me that I shouldn't have continued reading the text to answer the previous question. This is a very important tip. Questions on the TOEFL reading section usually go in order. So if you already used part of the text to answer one question, you are unlikely to need this part to answer the next question for the same paragraph. Proliferation means a rapid increase in the number or amount of something. We know synonyms such as growth, rapid increase, spread, and so on. So the right answer is A, growth. It's definitely not cooperation, importance, or success. Again, if you don't know this word, you should expand your academic vocabulary. Question 7 is another inference question. Since we need to find out what can be inferred about flatboats and keelboats, we will first look for these words in the paragraph. It's pretty easy to spot them because they're next to each other in the second sentence of the paragraph. The sentence reads, although flatboats and keelboats continued to be important until the 1850s, steamboats eventually superseded all other craft in the carrying of passengers and freight. For those of you who don't know what supersede means, it means to replace something older or less efficient. So, by reading this sentence, I can already understand that steamboats were newer and more efficient than flatboats and keelboats. Now, let's look at the next sentence, which says that steamboats were not only faster, but also transported upriver freight for about 1/10 of what it had previously cost on hand-propelled keelboats. This sentence clearly shows that steamboats were faster and cheaper. Therefore, choice B is the only possible answer to this question. The next one is the negative factual information question. The important thing to remember is that you have to find a statement that is not in the text. Many of the students I see in one-on-one sessions get so excited when they find one of the answer options in the text that they mark it as correct and move on to the next question. But remember, you're looking for the answer that is not correct. Our first step is to identify keywords in the answer choices. As I scan the passage, I first come across some numbers that turn out to be the cost of transporting freight. I can now eliminate choice B. Then, I see the word produce close to the word rivers, which allows me to eliminate choice D. Finally, at the end of the sentence, I see 3 words: a shorter route. This should eliminate choice A as well. In the end, I'm left with choice C, which is the correct answer. As you can see, the elimination strategy works best for this type of question. Let's move on to the next question. This type of question is called insert text. The main tip for this question is to look for pronouns or other small and often neglected words in the bolded sentence that can hint at the meaning of the sentences surrounding it. The bolded sentence in this text has one such word. It's the word more. More is followed by cheaply, which means that the sentence preceding the bolded one should be talking about the cost of something. I quickly scan the paragraph looking for the word cost or its synonyms, and I easily find the right sentence. It's sentence 3, which says, The cost of transporting bulky grains in this fashion was several times greater than their value in Eastern markets. So, I can add the bolded sentence right after sentence 3. The correct answer is choice C. Finally, there is the prose summary question. The key to success on this question is to select main ideas and not minor details. Therefore, if you see a sentence that expresses a minor idea, eliminate it immediately because it will never be the correct answer. Also, if the sentence is irrelevant to the introductory sentence given in the instructions, feel free to eliminate it as well. Now back to the question. The introductory sentence is: the westward movement of population across the United States led to expanded agricultural production. Our goal is to choose 3 more sentences that summarize the passage. Choice A seems general enough to be considered the main idea. Also, as you can see, it summarizes the second paragraph of the passage. You should already remember the information in the second paragraph from answering the previous questions. But if not, you should always review the passage to refresh your memory. Finally, choice A doesn't contradict the passage, which makes it a perfect candidate for our first correct answer. Choice B is also a general statement. It effectively summarizes the third paragraph by talking about both fertility and government policies. It doesn't contradict the text, so we have our second correct answer. Congratulations! Choice C is another general statement. It talks about how commercial farming was improved by some changes in land and water transportation. This sentence perfectly summarizes the last 2 paragraphs of the passage. I can't believe we got so lucky today. 3 correct answers in a row. Choices A, B, and C are the sentences we should choose to answer this question. Choices D, E, and F are either too specific or irrelevant to the introductory sentence. Well done! As you can see, once you know what strategies to use and have enough practice, the TOEFL reading questions are not as difficult as they seem. Of course, since I'm a teacher and I have more experience with these questions than you may, don't be disappointed if some of them are still challenging to you. However, with little effort and a lot of determination, you'll be acing the TOEFL reading section in no time. Again, if you want me to help you make this process faster and much easier, join our course and show the test who is boss. The link is in the description below. Don't forget to write winner in the comments below if you got every question right, or let me know how many mistakes you made. See you all very soon. Bye now.